the internet, and these are the Soaring Sky Precure characters from good to evil. I've already done the healing goods, the cure a la modes, and the freshes. Now we go into the one that celebrates their 20th anniversary. But before we get into the most wicked, let's talk about the most good. These characters are the good. Taking home the gold medal good is going to Yo-Yo Nijiko, grandmother to Mashiro. While she may not be a strong warrior like her granddaughter, she makes up for being a wise and kind-hearted person. She knows all about those Skylands, as she did originally came from the place. When it comes to the cures, she'll help out the best she can, be it giving them advice or nurturing baby Ella and Bird being Tsubasa, being one of the few parental figures to know that their child is a precure warrior that stops evil. Yo-Yo is supportive of Mashiro and her friends, with the promise to keep their cure identities a secret. And she's just as kind to those around her, so while she may not be a warrior that stops evil, her calm and kind personality makes up for it, and she earns the gold medal of goodness. In second place, we have Agatha Hijaro, aka Cure Butterfly, the oldest of the cures. Agatha is mature, level-headed, and friendly. She acts like an older sister to the younger cures, and is shown to have a soft spot for children, especially Ella. As a cure, she is brave and not afraid to take down evil, while she can be a bit overexcited at times. Her heart is clearly pure, and her kindness and nurturing to young kids earn her the silver medal. In third place, we have the pink cure herself, Mashiro Nijagyo, aka Cure Prism. Kind-hearted, well-mannered, and a bit shy, Mashiro is shown to be a compassionate young lady. When she first met Sora, though she was a bit weirded out by a girl who can transform into a warrior, she still tried to help out by offering Sora and Ella a place to stay. When it comes to her friends, she gets along with them very well. And being a precure, she helps save the day from the forces of evil and protects both her world and the Skylands. That's not to say she's perfect, as she did let Matmanta steal her Mirage Pen at one point. Thankfully, she did manage to get it back, and she can also be naive and a bit easily anxious. Still, she has a big heart and is willing to help out her friends and save the day. She's also willing to forgive her foes, as seen with Batamanda. Next, we have Captain Shalala, captain of the Azuru. Shalala is shown to be a brave and fearless woman with a sense of justice and honor. She protected Sora when she was young, and was the inspiration for Sora to be a hero. When she and Sora reunite, she allows Sora to be her apprentice. She also serves as an ally to the cures, willing to help them out when needed. As far as allies go, she is clearly one of the best, and she earns a high spot. Now we have the first ever male main precure, Subi Yanaga, aka Cure Wing, a bird fairy being, and the first ever male cure. Tsubasa is quite responsible his age, be it taking care of Ella or staying hard on flying. As Cure Wing, he's shown to be a courageous boy just like her friends. While he does have the typical traits of his age, being stubborn and doesn't always make the right choice, still he has a good heart and is even willing to risk his own life to save Ella-chun. Clearly a good kid. We finally get to the main character herself, Sora Haruwatsu, aka Cure Sky, the main cure of the series. After being saved by Shalala at such a young age, she was inspired to become a bright hero. After witnessing Ella-chan being captured, she took it upon herself to save the baby before landing on Earth and befriending Mashiro, and transformed into the warrior Cure Sky. Sora is shown to be a brave and selfless, as she and her cure buds will stop the bad guys and save the people. That's not to say she's a perfect hero, as she can be reckless and doesn't always think things through. She can be stubborn and has a bad habit of jumping to conclusions, like when first meeting Tsubasa. To be fair, seeing a random kid in your room would throw anyone off. Despite this, Sora is a great person who constantly saves the day and is a loyal friend to her pals, so she earns a high spot in the good. For the last of our main cures, we have the youngest cure ever, Ella-chan, aka Cure Majesty, the youngest of the cures. the child of destiny, a reincarnation of Princess Majesty and the Princess of the Skylands. After being taken from her parents, the king and queen, and rescued by Sora, Elytron is put in the care of the Cures, and is trained into being Cure Majesty. Being a baby, Elytron is shown to be playful and cheerful, as she has a strong bond with her caretakers, but she also showcases courageous and awareness despite being a baby. However, she is still just a baby at the end of the day and can be bratty at times. As Cure Majesty, she is shown to be a brave and selfless, even willing to risk her own life at points. Because of her infant state, she earned a bit of a low spot. Still, she clearly cares for her friends and is surprisingly gifted at her age. On to some of the parents. Remy and Shido Haraturu are next. Parents to Sora and Red. These two are very loving and supportive of their kids. For Shido, though stern, he's just as loving as any good dad. When his daughter returned home devastated, Shido comforts her. Remy is the typical nice mother that loves both her kids, but will put her foot down when needed. As far as parents go, they're supportive, loving, and encouraging. The fact that they support their daughters saving the world makes them pretty great parents as well. From one group of parents to another, we have Maru and Akure and Najaja, Mashiro's parents. Like with Remy and Shido, these two are very loving and caring parents to their daughter, even if they may not know that their daughter is a warrior. Regardless, they care for their daughter. With Mario being the more emotional one and Kira being the level-headed one, even if they may be overseas far from their daughter, they still video chat her each day and tell her they love her, which is good. Princess Elena, aka Nobel, is next. The princess of the Skyland from 300 years ago and the creator of Ella herself. Like the future Cure, she's a brave and kind warrior who cares about her people. When Sora and Mashiro and Ella traveled back in time 300 years ago, she was shown to be very friendly with them, even letting them stay at her place. She is shown to be peaceful, wanting to make peace with the Undergoo Empire. However, she has to be placed low, since she can be quite reckless and irresponsible, like unintentionally hurt her friend the Empress. Thankfully, she did treat her wound, and she can be naive too, and not have any hindsights, mainly let Spearhead frame her for murdering the Emperor. Still, she has a good intention, so we can't place her that low. And rounding up the goods, we have the King and Queen of Skyland. They aren't given actual names. They are the rulers of the Skyland and foster parents of Ella. They are shown to be fair rulers that care about the people, as well as loving parents to Ella, being joyful that she's okay, as well as being trusting the Cures to protecting both their daughter and kingdom. However, outside of being loving parents and fair rulers, they don't do that much, as they tend to be put on the side. Still, they care enough, so they earn respond to good. And with the good characters out of the way, let's get into the more neutral characters. This is the gray area. First off, we have Barry Burry, a member of the Azura Guards. She's a rival to Sora, viewing her as weak. She can be brash and hot-headed, which makes her come across as a bully. However, during the match, she ended up losing due to her hot-headedness. When she tried to fight Batamanda, she ended up losing her glove and ended up turning into a monster. She ended up losing her glove and ended up turning into a monster. Thankfully, after Sora and the Cure stop the monster and save her life, she does accept that she's a hero. In her later appearance, she becomes more noble and tries to help out the kingdom. So she has grown a bit, even being more humble with Sora. Next, we have going with the first of the foes, Minotaur. Minotaur is one of the generals of the Undergo Empire. However, he's not completely evil, as he does show great respect for the Cures as warriors. Even saves Ella from the Ramborg, stating that harming the BB is dishonorable. Minotaur is more of a foe that's driven by honor and pride than true malice. This eventually led to him being turned into a Ramborg himself by Spearhead. Fortunately, the Cures were able to purify him, and he eventually becomes an ally to the Cures, even fighting alongside them. Next, we have the original emperor of the Underground Kingdom, Emperor Endergu. Let's be as clear, yes, he was the ruler of the Underground Empire, and did cause a lot of destruction from the Skyland Kingdom, but to be fair, he was under the influence of Spearhead, his right-hand man, to believe in strength is more important than peace. And once Ellen saved his daughter's life, he does change his tune. That is until he's cured by Spearhead. He also does seem to care for his daughter, as well as distraught when she was distraught when she was injured. While he was the king of a evil kingdom, he wasn't a full-on monster, so he earned just by in the gray area. And rounding up the gray area, we have Empress Undergu, daughter of the Emperor. Empress used to be a kind and cheerful girl, even bonded in friendship with Ellen. However, after her parent betrayal, she became bitter and vengeful, with plots to capture Elichan and destroy the cures for revenge of her father's death. Like with the Emperor, she was under the influence of Spearhead, so we can't go too hard on her. After being purified and realizing that Spearhead was using her all these years, she realized her mistake and even teamed up with the Cures to stop Spearhead. While she did do a lot of awful things, she was more misguided than evil, so she just barely escapes the bad tier. And speaking of which, it's time to go with the wicked and the wicked, the bad to evil. For our bronze medal of evil, we have Cabaton, one of the generals. He's more likely to belittle and mock him when he considers weak. Though he does do some pretty awful things like kidnap Ella and even destroy Sora's notebook at one point just to spite her. He is also shown to be greedy and unpleasant. He isn't the only thing that keeps him from falling any lower is outside of other people being much worse. He does change his ways after Sora saves him, and he starts working on his behavior and even helps the Cures. By the end, he works as a sweet potato seller. While that is nice, considering how nasty he was before, he still earns a spot in the bad tier. Taking the silver, we have Batamanda, easily the most unpleasant of the Undergo, besides one we'll get to after him. He's a very lazy and egotistical jerk who loves to mock and bully his opponents. But he can do some awful things like put the king and queen in a coma and try to capture Ella, turning Captain Shala into a Ramborg and forces Ella to either kill her hero or just to let her live and cause mass destruction. Thankfully, he does redeem himself thanks to Mashiro, and even does encourage and cheer on the Cures in their fight against Spearhead. While it is admirable, it took a while to get there, and just how cruel he was, we still, think, deserve a pretty low spot. However, there is one more that is so wicked, so vile, that there is no other villain that earns the gold medal of evil other than Spearhead, aka Darkhead. Out of all the foes in this series, Spearhead is clearly pure evil. At first, he just to be a servant of the Empire. It turned out he's far worse. As stated before, he was the one who influenced both the Emperor and Empress into destroying Skylands, as well as killing the Emperor and nearly killing the Empress. He plots to kill Elichan, a baby mind you, brainwashes Sora at one point, and tries to destroy both the Skyland and Earth as well. All for the sake of being strong and powerful. Heartless, cold, manipulative, literally backstabbing, not to mention responsible for starting a war many years ago, Spearhead is clearly one of the most despicable villains in the Precure franchise, and more earning this high spot as the most evilest being in this series, and earns the gold medal of evil. Alright, that's my list. Who do you think are the most good and who you think are the most good and who are the most evil? If so, leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you all next time. Woohoo!